The Kola Superdeep Borehole is the result of a scientific drilling project of the Soviet Union in the Pechengsky District, on the Kola Peninsula. The project attempted to drill as deep as possible into the Earth's crust. Drilling began on May 24, 1970 using the Euromash 4E, and later the Euromash 15,000 series drilling rig. A number of boreholes were drilled by branching from a central hole. The deepest, SG3, reached 12,262 meters in 1989 and still is the deepest artificial point on Earth. For 2 decades it was also the world's longest borehole, in terms of measured depth along the well bore, until surpassed in 2008 by the 12,289-meter-long Al Shaheen oil well in Qatar, and in 2011 by 12,345-meter-long Sverkhglubokaya OP11 well. Drilling. The main target depth was set at 15,000 am. On June 6, 1979, the world depth record held by the Bertha Rogers hole in Washita County, Oklahoma, United States, at 9,583 am was broken. In 1983, the drill passed 12,000 am, and drilling was stopped for about a year to celebrate the event. This idle period may have contributed to a breakdown on September 27, 1984, after drilling to 12,066 am, a 5,000 am section of the drill string twisted off and was left in the hole. Drilling was later restarted from 7,000 am. The hole reached 12,262 am in 1989. In that year, the hole depth was expected to reach 13,500 am by the end of 1990 and 15,000 am by 1993. However, because of higher-than-expected temperatures at this depth and location, 180 aa°C instead of expected 100 aa°C, drilling deeper was deemed unfeasible and the drilling was stopped in 1992. With the projected further increase in temperature with increasing depth, drilling to 15,000 am would have meant working at a temperature of 300 aa°C, where the drill bit would no longer work. Research. The Kola borehole penetrated about a third of the way through the Baltic continental crust, estimated to be around 35 kilometers deep, reaching rocks of Archean age at the bottom. The project has been a site of extensive geophysical studies. The stated areas of study were the deep structure of the Baltic Shield, seismic discontinuities and the thermal regime in the Earth's crust, the physical and chemical composition of the deep crust and the transition from upper to lower crust, lithospheric geophysics, and to create and develop technologies for deep geophysical study. To scientists, one of the more fascinating findings to emerge from this well is that no transition from granite to basalt was found at the depth of about 7 km, where the velocity of seismic waves has a discontinuity. Instead, the change in the seismic wave velocity is caused by a metamorphic transition in the granite rock. In addition, the rock at that depth had been thoroughly fractured and was saturated with water, which was surprising. This water, unlike surface water, must have come from deep crust minerals and had been unable to reach the surface because of a layer of impermeable rock. Another unexpected discovery was the large quantity of hydrogen gas. The mud that flowed out of the hole was described as boiling with hydrogen. Status. The project was closed down in late 2005 because of lack of funding. All the drilling and research equipment was scrapped and the site has been abandoned since 2008. Similar projects. The United States had embarked on a similar project in 1957, dubbed Project Moel, which was intended to penetrate the shallow crust under the Pacific Ocean off Mexico. However, after some initial drilling, the project was abandoned in 1966 because of lack of funding. This failure inspired the great successes of the Deep Sea Drilling Project, Ocean Drilling Program and the present Integrated Ocean Drilling Program. The KTB Superdeep Borehole at Windischsteinbach in northern Bavaria was drilled down to a depth of 9,101 am, reaching temperatures of more than 260 aa°C. Its ambitious measuring program used high-temperature logging tools that were upgraded specifically for KTB. Records. The Kola Superdeep Borehole was the deepest and longest borehole in the world for nearly 20 years. However, in May 2008, A new record for borehole length was established by the extended reach drilling well BDO-4A, which was drilled by Transocean for Maersk Oil in the Al Shaheen oil field in Qatar. It was drilled to 12,289 am, with a record horizontal reach of 10,902 am, in only 36 days. On January 28, 2011, ExxonNeftegas Limited, operator of the Sakhalin project, drilled the world's longest extended reach well offshore on the Russian island of Sakhalin. It has surpassed the length of both the Al Shaheen well and the Kola borehole. The Odoptu OP11 well reached a measured total depth of 12,345 am and a horizontal displacement of 11,475 am. ExxonNeftegas completed the well in 60 days. In terms of depth below the surface, the Kola Superdeep Borehole retains the world record. See also, Chikia, deep oceanic drilling ship, which achieved a subsea drilling record in 2012. Earthscope, extreme points of Earth, Moa-Rovia Ea discontinuity, San Andreas Fault Observatory at depth, user A, well to hell hoax, references. Further reading, Fuchs, K. Kozlovsky, Each, Krivtsov, A.I., and Zobak, M.D. Superdeep Continental Drilling and Deep Geophysical Sounding. Berlin, Springer Verlag. PA 436. ISBN A978-0-387-51609-7 Kozlovsky, E.A. The Superdeep Well of the Kola Peninsula. Berlin, Springer Verlag. PA 558. ISBN A978-3-540-16416-6. External links, official Kola Superdeep Borehole website, the world's deepest hole Alaska Science Forum July 1985, the deepest hole June 20, 2006, Kola Superdeep, scientific research results and experiences by PhD Aya Sadkik 1984.